out and see what on earth JDG are going to do about it. Actually opting into going for the red side once again. So deciding that the way it started wasn't the issue. It was the way it was played out.
Yeah, they have surprisingly changed a ban. They've left open the Gwen, so maybe saying, hey, we're fine. Oh, and even LGD changing paths as well, not going for the same first pick of the Viego. This could open up Viego Gwen potentially for the side of JDG. Obviously, I think Gwen's not as potent as of a blind pick anymore now that things like GP are in the meta. We've seen Kayle be another champion that people have been willing to take into the matchup, but we're going to have to see what JDG prefer.
Yeah, so the Viego, fairly standard. Now we need to see where they go, because you could also just go with an AD carry, or you could go for a priority support, maybe go for a mid lane in that Ahri that we've seen Yagao play in game number 1, and that will be the option in the end. So jungle mid once again for JDG, kind of repeating game number 1, but with a different jungler this time around. Now LGD could finish out their bottom lane once more. They had a Nautilus last time, but also getting a jungler could be crucial.
Yeah, things like the Lee Sin obviously still come to mind. That's kind of how the tier list has gone, of like, oh, Wukong, Viego, and then Lee Sin. But yeah, going straight back towards the Fiora. They don't care what 369 can answer it with. And I mean, heck, this time they can even throw 4 or 5 bans down towards top if JDG don't go for a pick they're comfortable with now. But I don't even feel like the matchup itself last game was the problem, right? It was just 369 went for that TP. It started opening up the huge lead for Fearness, and they won't be able to opt in the same thing. And even more surprising that they're not going for a jungle. They don't really care about that pool being pinched. Oh. So our 4 or 5 bans are going to be really interesting, considering that, right, only one pick has been matched. Only both teams have top laners. JDG still need their bot lane. LGD still need their jungle and mid.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. I love LGD strategy coming in here, but just putting the gauntlet on the table and saying, look, we're just locking it in. You can't deal with our Fiora. So, yeah, we're just going to go for it once again. JDG now have to figure out what they want to ban it. Wait, the Graves, I guess, from Shadow here.
I'm kind of surprised.
Perhaps Lee Sin as well.
The 2 picks that jump to my mind that you'd probably want to ban would be Lee Sin, just early game prio, right? Being able to fight and skirmish. The other one that kind of came to mind would be Nocturne, considering that you do have this Fiora who's going to be off playing in a side, and being able to look for these picks onto immobile champions like GP could be incredibly strong. So I would expect one of their bans to go that way, but no, actually going to leave both open. Graves, surprisingly the only jungler that they care about.
Yeah, kind of surprised by that one. Maybe just wanting Shadow to go for the Lee Sin. Perhaps wanting some skirmishes or something. I don't know. Tia, taken off the board. Xayah being removed from Hope, which makes me think that LGD want to go for some dives in this bottom side. Perhaps get rid... Well, the Senna's already gone, so Senna Tom Cage's off the table. Xayah's gone as well. Maybe get rid of the Ezreal. Just trying to remove all of the safe AD carries, but instead, going to get rid of one of these tankier supports in the Leona from Missing.
I was going to say, we still have the Ezreal, we still have the Aphelios as well, which is reared its head a little bit. Obviously could be like rough early. If Kalista gets on you, your life will be a living hell. Could just play back. I don't know if we should care about this hover, but it is something that has been played. I think it was Jackie Love who played it. I think it was their first game. But yeah, that one's not going to come out. It's probably actually just going to be this Ezreal locked in. And then for LGD, we're going to see where they answer with jungle. We've hit on the Lee Sin, the Nocturne kind of being the 2 standouts to me in where they can go in terms of, like, obviously, again, early game skirmishing with the Lee Sin. They're going to play more towards just picking off people on sides and enabling their Fiora later on with that Nocturne. And then looking where they go with mid, I think is the most curious one. But this would be fun. And this is something that Shadow was really prevalent on when it was strong in the meta.
Okay, Shadow goes for the Diana. Yasuo could be an option. They don't have their mid laner just yet. I don't know how much Yeji likes the Yasuo specifically, but it's going to be a set instead. Is that a set mid just to play set? Like, I mean, I love set mid. It's a while since this has been meta, but I love this style of gameplay.
Yeah, we have had it once so far. I actually believe it was this exact same combo. We had the set Diana come out from IG coming through. And yeah, we're going to get it repeated here today. So you have the setup coming in, right? Facebreaker, Showstopper. Sets up very easily for Shadow to be able to go in with that Moonfall. So very strong and potent mid-jungle combination. Once again, I think you lean very heavily into this strong 4v4 in mid-game with your bot lane as well. And JDG have kind of indexed even heavier into their scaling, considering now that they have this GP over the Kennen. But the one good thing about their comp is it feels very holistic and kiting out all in. You have Braum throwing out his passive. Braum has his ultimate as well. The cannon barrage to slow them down. GP's barrel combos are much easier and more fluid if the enemy is running into you. And then the Ezreal to just top it all off. So kind of like a 1-4 and primary engage coming out from LGD, and this kind of kite back 5v5 setup coming out from the side of JD Gaming.
Yeah, we're going to have to wait and see if it'll work out for JDG Gaming. JDG Gaming.
JDG Gaming.
It's like saying an ATM machine. Yeah, we'll have to see if they can kite back and keep LGD at arm's length. Last game, it didn't feel like they could play out the win condition effectively. It didn't feel like they figured out how to play around LGD. But I think a lot of it, once again, will come down to this early game, right? LGD found an advantage in that early game and kind of snowballed things out of control. So I feel like JDG are going to have a lot more work in the first sort of 5-10 minutes to make sure that the game is stable. Because that level 1, like Kanavi going for the invade at level 2 and it all falling apart, like it couldn't have really gone any worse than the start.
I feel like the one thing I'm going to be skeptical of with JDG going in, right, is that JDG were the aggressors in almost every situation last game. Can they temper themselves and actually let the enemy come into them, try to control space first, try to contest and posture over mid-wave, and can they get this cheeky level 1? I don't think so. Fearness isn't going to fall for it. Oh, he saw. He saw, didn't he? He must have seen. I mean, pings are coming out on him now.
He barely walked into the lane. He wouldn't have had vision on the brushes, surely. Those are red pings. Those are red pings. I don't know. Either way, it's not going to work out. I'm not sure if he saw it or not, but either way, it's not going to pay off. So just going to be a ward for 369 for his early laning. Gangplank, obviously, exceptionally strong in the early game and in the mid game and in the late game because they've decided that scaling champions don't exist anymore. Random shade there. I don't know why they buffed Gangplank's early game so much. He used to be the scaling champion. It breaks my heart.
And again, you don't even have to worry about dives too much anymore, right? Like, again, dives still can come off, and I think especially with LGD's composition, it's like, if you have 4 members topside, I mean, you have a set, you have a Nautilus, it could work, but yeah, even 369 not really having to worry about that.
Yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. Shadow going to start on his chickens. There is a ward there, but obviously that's his own team's ward. That was defensive vision for the start of the game. As both junglers will start on this bottom side, but once again, Shadow going to go from Raptors to blue buff. This is what he did in game number 1 as well. But, you know, that was a slightly different situation with Kanavi having the kind of jungle tempo advantage. This time, Shadow kind of boomeranging, and we'll head back down towards the bottom side.
Yeah, so we'll bring him back down to that bot side where he has the Kalista. Also will mean he's getting the red buff later, so potentially could have it at a more impactful moment where he actually will want to fight, because we don't expect to see Shadow fight, want to fight much with his first clear. After that, goes for the reset, can try and come out on base and try and find an impact on bot, or especially mid, right? Because you pick the set to combo with the Diana, you have the CC to bring in to set up for her to dash in and get that damage off. So it'd be nice to see them either punish Yagao or at least hover around mid and open up Yeji to be able to move, because Yeji has also taken that ghost as well. So you can more quickly get in the side lanes, and even in team fights, just chase down priority targets even harder.
You certainly can. Kanavi on his red buff right now. I'm curious. Oh, hang on. Hook onto Hope there. Big damage out from Assum and Jinzhao, but missing able to block a lot of it with the Unbreakable. And that's the power of having that Braum at the bottom side. Such a good anti-dive tool. Such a good anti-pressure tool. Kanavi, speaking of dives, moving up to his top side, but he's been thwarted once again. Shadow is just too big brain for him. Every invade he goes for, Shadow's already read it.
Yeah, not going to be able to fight anything. We'll just have to walk away, take the topside Scuttle Crab, and finish clearing out his topside jungle. And overall, Shadow, I mean, just going to be able to finish his full clear before Kanavi's able to do the same and find a nice little window. Won't be able to make anything happen bot, considering that Hope and Missing are just playing under turret. They are going to get pressured, right? You're playing Ezreal Braum. You're not really playing to win lane. There are potential avenues around mid, but still Shadow, I think, wanting to value more getting to level 6 as quickly as possible before really wanting to punish Yagao Zari.
Yeah, I mean, that's the classic Diana strategy, right? Where you want to get that level 6. That is.
I remember we had someone level 2 gank on her last split. It didn't work. I remember they died. I wish I could remember which team it is, but maybe it's better I don't, because then that would just be straight up flame. Yeah. It would just
I feel like you're just calling someone out at that point for one random mistake that happened. Assum gonna get some damage onto Missing again. Once again, this Braum very tanky, but actually a flash forward from Jinzhao onto Hope. It's going to be flash for flash there. But Shadow, in the meantime, has snuck into this lane. Now, there is no vision in the brush. Once these minions are cleared, he'll be able to move forwards into that next brush as well, or he'll leave the lane, and we won't get to play that out.
Yeah, and again, if the play would have come out, that would have been one of the benefits of saving your red buff for so long, right? He would have had that extra damage coming through with the burn, but now we'll just be able to go up, pick up his Raptors. You'd expect a reset to be coming in sometime soon, because Kanavi right now being a little bit stronger coming off of his own back, having that Sheen in inventory could be a bit of a timer where you would look to impact the lane. The hard thing is, I feel like there's no real easy lanes for Kanavi to impact right now. Mid will be quite hard. Yeji, obviously very durable on the set. Top lane, if Fearness overextends, which he's pushed up right now, is an option. And bot lane would be fine if you get a gank off, if you have vision of Shadow. But if Shadow is there, I feel like LGD's 3v3 is quite potent.
Yeah. It's going to be Shadow just helping make sure that this wave gets shoved in. Jin Zhao making an attempt. And I will say, one thing that we have to say for Jin Zhao, he loves to make these attempts in the mid lane. He loves to try and go for those. 369 has flash. Fearness needs to be real careful and will realize the situation as Kanavi starts this Drake off. Shadow is on the top side of the map, but with pressure from Jin Zhao and Yeji, I'm not sure that this is a Drake JDG can commit to.
No, they definitely have to be a little bit respectful, as they're actually going to posture around mid. Ooh, Jin Zhao living on a knife's edge.
Dicey. Yeah, the Hex flash out to safety just about gets away with it, but my god. That's a squeaky bum time is what we call that one. As now JDG going to be able to get themselves to the Scuttle Crab. Asa moving in. Missing could be a target here.
No.
Jin Zhao
Oh, my God. I was going to say,
they got the crab.
We saw it last game, right? The exact same situation, but it was Shadow who just walked up, smited the crab away. Luckily, Kanavi able to get it this time around. Key thing going into this next phase of the game is 369 about to hit level 6. We'll have that cannon barrage available if JDG want to try and start off a fight for Dragon.
Yep, that'll be crucial. In fact, he has now hit level 6. JDG start it off immediately. Asum moving into the bottom lane, though, there will be no contest from LGD. So JDG starting things better this game, right? We remember in game number 1, they fell behind on the Drakes, and it meant that this split push pressure from Fearness can have far more impact way later into the game. With JDG starting off with the first Drake, that shouldn't be as much of a threat.
Yeah, I mean, if you can be having them fight you for soul, you know, around the 25-minute mark, that would be phenomenal for the side of JDG. I mean, at least JDG do have phenomenal scaling in terms of fights this time around. Last game, we didn't really get there, and that's why 369's cannon was the only real damage source. So they will be unified, and again, a lot of it's going to come off if they can play out this formation. But Shadow now very close to hitting level 6 himself, and we can finally start to see a more proactive LGD coming out onto the Rift. And I've already said it numerous times, but it's going to start from the mid lane, right? You want to see it start with the set Diana and then making your way over to one of your sides.
Yeah, it feels like they need to get something going, right? Split push compositions do not work when you're behind. You need to have that advantage as Kanavi moves up towards this top side. Fearness is just going to leg it for the time being at very least. There is no ward in the lane brushes, so Kanavi can move a little bit further forward. Those minions are going to be just in the wrong spot for him to be able to push in too much. And Fearness smells a rat. Look where he's positioned on the map right now. He knows it's going on. He's in between the two towers. Yagao had gone missing from mid lane as well. It's just going to be this huge crash, but Fearness will still be able to get here and clear up most of it. Misses the cannon, but ultimately, it's only going to be the one CS that he misses out on.
Yeah, overall, nice by Fearness. Didn't have confidence in the extra turret damage, and especially, again, the ramping damage coming through to be able to maybe turn it into a 1-for-1 or maybe even a 1-for-2. Is going to use the window, though, to be able to look for this Herald. Key thing is that JDG's bot lane and making their way up first, as the observers are showing now. So JDG definitely going to feel comfortable about trying to look for this fight.
Yeah, Yagao making sure that LGD can't just go for this one for free, as Fearness goes for the reset, does not have TP, and that almost guarantees now that JDG will have this one in the books. Remember, Yagao having that charm available means that they have to be cautious, and Shadow flashes away from it. He was definitely ready for that one. The speed of the flash, he knew that that was a risk, but goes for the aggressive pathing anyway. Now has to move towards his red buff, as Asum will finally get himself a tower plate. So this is the minor reward for LGD for not going for that Herald. They get one plate onto the AD carry, but generally speaking, the Herald is going to be worth 2.
Yeah, so far JDG have just been pulling them around the map. Really nice use of pressure coming out from their side on the windows that they have been playing around, right? First time around, it being that cannon barrage, it being like the threat of just more force able to come out, I think, leading LGD to not wanting to contest the Drake. Now their bot lane playing off a window where they have the bouncing wave going back. Luckily for the side of LGD, is at least when you have Diana in a game, Diana kind of warps the game around her, in my opinion, in terms of if you are ever able to find that massive wombo combo coming through with set Diana, there will always be an avenue back into the game.
That is certainly true, if you can get that big damage combo. But the problem is, exhaust exists, and she's kind of like Kennen in that way, where if she does get exhausted as the combo goes off, suddenly she doesn't add a whole lot to the fight. It's kind of that one big moment, and then you're out of luck. That's all you've got. So we'll be down to JDG as well as down to Shadow on how well these kinds of combos go off, down to Missing on how well he uses that exhaust. But we'll have to see. And, you know, Lyric, 0-0 at the 10-minute mark. After game number 1, we were like, okay, all scrappy compositions, lots of fighting, yeah. Game number 2, not so much. Very slow pace of game. And generally speaking, like historically, that's the way JDG have liked it. But honestly, in the last year or so, I'd say JDG have really ramped up the aggression. So it's kind of surprising to see.
Yeah, they had the highest champion kills per minute in the spring regular split, as 369 does have flash and won't even have to burn the cannon barrage. Still, though, nice by LGD to get that summoner spell out. But like you were saying, right, JDG in spring regular split, they were our most aggressive teams in terms of finding action. Now they're getting punished.
Yeah, Gao pulled underneath the tower here. Yeji looking for a solo kill. Honestly, there was no one there to back him up. And now he's stuck the haymaker across the team. The knockup is there, but it's first blood for JDG. Has some answers, though. Stacking up the rent onto Kanavi as well, but the ultimate not quite going to work out from Jin Chao.
Yeah, 1 for 1 in the end. Like you said, Yeji not being trigger shy at all, looking for the play. We're able to answer it back.
Okay, just a bit of damage.
Yep, that did nothing. Still on the bottom side, we can see now Hope can be able to get some plating. Remember that they have the Rift Herald. We don't need to remember because luckily Kanavi is dropping that one right now, and this will be some nice gold in JDG's pocket.
Okay, Herald charge just about. It was only like 200 HP when it went for the charge there. Does manage to pull it off. That'll be 4 plates now for JDG. Hope getting a huge amount of that gold as well. And, you know, I criticized the Ezreal after game number 1, and you said it was much more a matter of if Ezreal can maintain pressure. Well, this time around, they're 1,000 gold up. This time around, Hope is the one getting this early gold, and we'll be able to stay at least even with Assam. There's a second Drake as well for JDG. So this top lane from Fairness won't be able to snowball ahead like it did last time. And it feels like LGD are going to have their work cut out in the mid-gamers. I love this. Yeji, like, just making the plays. I respect it.
Yeah, trying to look for it. Knew his bot lane was on the way, but still nowhere near close enough. Make sure the 1 kill does go over. And then this flash Q comes out from Assam. The E to be able to finish him off. And just nice for them to be able to trade 1 for 1. Ultimately, it does go in JDG's favor once we do factor in Ezreal being left in the bot lane and then the Rift Herald being able to come out. But still, being able to answer 1 for 1 was nice. But still, I feel like the longer the pace of the game sits like this, just the way that the 2 compositions interact, JDG should be feeling decently nice. But LGD do have a ton of all-in. So sure, like JDG might have like range coming through with the Ezreal and Kite back with things like the Spirit Rush coming out for Yagao and the Braum. But LGD should always be able to find a way into a fight. But if JDG keep expanding this gold lead like this, those will be losing battles.
Yes, they will. And we're getting to the point as well where, like, ultimately, once, as you said before, Shadow is a huge portion of the damage from JDG. If he doesn't get that combo off, well, I don't really know where the damage comes from in these fights. I don't know who else is going to be able to carry a team fight for them. So they need to find something. And Shadow keeps on trying to get it. Like, he's been in top lane twice. He's been in bottom lane before, but never quite able to get anything to stick.
Yeah, never able to find it. I mean, just consistently their lanes getting pushed in, and JDG's lane's like paying a fair amount of respect, right? 369 not really over-aggressing, except that one time he was punished. And you could see Kanavi just kind of pivoting back and forth on both sides of the map, just allowing these three lanes of pressure to keep it up.
Ooh, Hope just dodges the hook there. JDG desperately trying to finish this tower off as Fairness is not having a fun time. Well, I guess we found out the correct matchup for 369 against the Fiora, right? He's 30 CS up now. He is absolutely destroying Fearness in the top side. And Fearness has just used his TP and now is stuck with Kanavi all-inning him. Nah. None of that today. It's going to be 369 that gets kill credit as well. And this time it's him grabbing the first tower of the game. 369 will be very pleased with this passage of play.
I mean, Fairness didn't even have his mythic yet compared to Kanavi having the Divine Sunder, but it would have been cool. It would have been cool if he could have pulled it off. They didn't even want to, like, risk it, threw down the Cannon Barrage as well to make sure that just goes down. That'll be very easy for JDG to start bringing members down towards this bottom half of the map to make sure that Hope and Missing will be allowed to secure this turret. Looks like with second Rift Herald coming up, though, they're actually fine just leaving Kanavi on the top side.
Yep, Jin Zhao looking for the hook.
Oh, he finds
it. Hope here, but I don't know if they really have the all-in. They just don't have the damage as Hope flashes. Oh, it didn't even have to flash just yet. Fate's Call going to be used just to keep Missing in the play. Hope, no ultimate available. Heal comes out to Missing. Missing goes down, but it's at the cost of both bottom laners and a great E from Hope. The follow-up from Shadow. He's in a 1v1, and there's no help from Yagao, who's trying to escape himself. The tower still doesn't go down, but Yeji chasing perhaps a little too long on this one, as in comes Kanavi. It's a long old skirmish, and Yeji, the shield, will keep him safe for a moment, but now the reset for Kanavi if he wants it. He's going on Shadow. True damage coming out from the Orb of Deception. The charm! Oh, goes Goda, but Kanavi hits the Haymaker. No!
Oh, he doesn't!
Ever so slightly shy. It's a disaster, but ultimately, JDG getting towers across the board.
Yeah, still though, JDG punished a little bit for their hubris. They were trying to play both sides of the map. We were just hitting on how they can lean members down to the bot side, but Kanavi opting into staying up towards Herald. Once things start to go awry, has to move down there. In the end, though, still able to hit turrets across the map, like you said, now sitting at 3. We'll go into the replay to see it all happen because Jin Zhao landing a beautiful hook onto Hope, and then Asum kind of dancing around the fight. Great to see, getting a bunch of spears in to get a bigger Ren stack coming out. They keep the fight going. Yagao was able to get down here, so both members do go down, but the fact that Yeji and Shadow were able to get here first, because as you can see on your minimap, again, the Kanavi did commit up towards the Herald at first, allowed for LGD to be able to find some kills back.
Yeah, and then Yeji staying a little bit too long, trying a little bit too hard to try and make that play happen. The shield helps, but ultimately the kill comes out. I feel like if Kanavi goes for the possession straight away, maybe they can lock Shadow up and find something.
I even feel like if you don't walk up with Haymaker and you just wait to use the recast of your ult and you aren't tanking turret, he probably could have gotten it. I don't know if he still would have been able to get out scot-free, but he definitely would have been able to secure the kill.
Cannon Barrage, there's a knock from Missing as well as Yagao trying to make his way into the fight. Fairness along the backside. That's a 4-man ulti out from Shadow, and it leads to nothing. Oh, that was tragic to witness. Fairness on the wrong side of the play now as he'll blast code his way towards the towers. Maybe he can make his way through this one. Gets the Q reset. We'll get out onto the top side of the map. But that'll be a third Drake now for JDG. And, you know, it was a great ulti from Shadow. But there was just nothing to follow up on it.
Hey, and this so far is a great example of the difference in best of 3s versus best of 1s. Because if this was best of 1s like LCS or LEC, just be like, cool, LGD are better than JDG. But since it is a best of 3 and JDG can readjust their draft, readjust off of the level 1 and the shenanigans that happened, they're able to come out stronger. We're going to see here JDG, the team, looking for the engage. They get Yeji quite low, and it leads to the Diana going in. Everyone flashing out, though. Diana is just, not very durable at this point in time. It was the charm that landed from Yagao to set it up, and they're able to finish off those 2 kills.
Like you say, it's just the difference in tournament format. Like, best of 1, that Diana kills everyone. I guarantee it. But no best of 3, so it doesn't work out.
Hey, man, they're on blue side. They are definitely going to win this game.
Let's not go there. My Twitter DMs cannot handle that conversation, okay? It's going to be 4K on the Herald. JDG on the contest. It's going to be a charm onto Asum and a cleanse to keep himself safe. The Herald low on HP and is taken by Kanavi in the end. Now the fight. Can LGD find it? There's 1 kill for them. And Fairness is on the backline. He's on to Hope. Can't quite finish the kill off. 1 more auto. Finds it and gets the healing as well. But Kanavi behind everyone. 369 in the middle of the action as well. Finds 2 for himself. And it looked so good for a minute there for LGD, but they didn't get the Herald, and they don't win the fight. It was all so close, and yet so far.
Yeah, it was the best shot that they had. and Missing still going to continue to chase down Jinzhao. Sadly, no real objectives they're able to take, but they commit cannon for us.
I respect it. It's not about how effective the play is. It's about sending a message, okay? Jinzhao goes down. Kanavi grabs that kill for himself. And, you know, JDG, I said I wanted to see them make a statement today. I was talking about game number 1, but I guess game number 2 will have to match.
Yeah, and we're going to see how the Herald fight starts. LGD being the ones to start off on the Rift Herald itself. And then Yeji kind of being a bit of a nuisance on the backline. Fearness also finds his way in. In terms of JDG, just kind of really scattered. It's really brawly right now, which suits LGD's style of composition. Fearness trying to 1v3 on one side of the fight, but it opens up Kanavi to find the reset, get the possessions, and sure, the damage might not land there, but you're starting to get into a point where the members of LGD are cut off. It's very easy for JDG to turn onto one side of the fight. Good effort from Fearness. He bought a ton of time, but it just wasn't enough.
Yeah, it certainly wasn't. Fearness, and again, we talked about it before. Fiora is certainly better at teamfighting than she ever was before, but still not great. And now, pick onto Jinzhao as well. Fate's Call, not even going to be used here. Oh, it was on cooldown, in fact. So it's just going to be a pick onto Jinzhao. Thought he was safer than he was. Now Yago trying to pressure onto Fearness. Good dodge onto the Charm. But Kanavi just going to drop the ult. Riposte will turn it around. Fearness getting the combo. The healing is there, but doesn't quite have the damage to finish Kanavi. My goodness, Fiora is terrifying.
Yeah, but still now Missing's in the fold, and Braum just does incredibly well against a lot of LG's composition, right? Very short range or melee heavy. You'll have numerous people you can get your passive stacked off onto. Your ult going to be able to get a ton of value in team fights when you know there are numerous members jumping into you. So the second Missing shows up in bot lane, you know everything is fine. Pretty much everywhere that Braum ends up, JDG are feeling snug and cozy.
No, yeah, gee, this is not the brush you want to go
snug and cozy.
They were very snug and very cozy in that brush. I can't argue with that as Jinzhao just gets chunked. That's going to be a good ult from Shadow, and he picks off one. But here's Yagao behind enemy lines. They fall. The solo laners on a mission as Kanavi follows up. Yagao, that is gorgeous. Asum trying to survive, but there's no chance on this one. Yagao getting the resets, gets back out again. And well, Fearness is just left recalling in the bottom lane, wondering what went wrong.
I gotta say, though, at the very least for LGD, right? Much more exciting of a squad, at least so far in this first series. This game, too, a little bit of a stomp once JDG did get going, but nice to see that at least individual outplays are possible, because that felt like something that just really was not there for LGD last split.
No, certainly not. I mean, Asum has had a pretty good series so far on this Kalista. You know, Fearness has obviously had a great series. Yeji having to be the one to face check. Such is life. Someone's got to do it at the end of the day. And JDG just punish.
Yeah, that is a great way of, right? I mean, they had to go in. They had full control of vision. They have no way of brute forcing through mid either to try to make their way into jungle as a collective unit. We see once Yagao is able to make it around, lands another charm to set this one up, and then goes in. Asum almost able to find it, but the Zanya's too powerful. Buys time for Kanavi to get in, and we come onto the map, and Dragon's up. So we're going to get another team fight. Munchables, take it away.
We certainly are. Kanavi trying to find Yeji. Look at Shadow. If he can find the ulti, maybe the miracle can happen. Hope going in. Shadow getting knocked up, though. Getting charmed and getting taken down. No, 10's golden. Hope standing on top of him, but the Q... Oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that it was too early. Asum dancing around now, but he just don't have the damage. It's 2 more for Kanavi, who's looking for an MVP himself, honestly, with the scoreline he's putting up right here. 8-0 and 8, 6-0 and 6 for 369. And, well, 20-6 on the scoreboard. That is going to be JDG, who clearly took game number 1 a little personally.
Yeah, JDG learned from their mistakes. The same early game pathing coming out from Kanavi getting punished and then the TP play weren't made. They were able to go into the mid game very smooth and just overall showing that, again, if JDG can find that lead, they know how to close out games.
Yes, they do. This is a team that specializes in the early game lead. And it's one of the reasons that I was kind of surprised to see the Ezreal again, right? And then a Gangplank, like a lot of scaling across the board for JDG, but it was a very quiet game. But